Yes.
Excellent. You can all hear me? Okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Got to admit one more person there. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the way this is going to work is we've got 5 of us in our LeaderCorps cohort. And today's topic is going to be self-care. And each person is going to present for about 8 minutes on a topic that's important to them in terms of self-care. One of the things that you'll notice as we're kind of going through this process is that there's a lot of different ways that we can take care of ourselves, right? So a lot of people think that self-care is just synonymous with mental health, and certainly that's a big part of it. But mental health is only one part of it. Self-care actually encompasses a lot of different things. So we're going to be kind of talking through that. We're going to share some of our own personal experience and perhaps some some research that we've done, and just kind of shed some light a little bit on some tools that maybe you haven't thought of before, and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn things over to Alvin, and he's going to get us started.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys can hear me, correct?
Yes.
Ready? Just double checking again. Let's get this up. And everybody can see my screen, right?
Yep, we can see it.
All righty. So my part of the project was cultivating a positive mindset, which I strongly feel like, is one of the first steps everybody should cultivate, or actually just be aware of how to, take self-care, or what's the actual meaning of self-care for themselves. Because it could vary from anybody. It doesn't all have to be the same. And the introduction I got would be, what is a positive mindset? A positive mindset is a mental attitude that focuses on the good and expect positive outcomes in various situations. Cultivating a positive mindset is essential for mental well-being, as it helps reduce stress, increase resilience, and improve overall happiness.
This is me. My mic is not on, honey. Look, he's not even on. Look, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you this. Look at the people that are on.
Is someone's not muted?
Yeah, somebody's not muted.
I'm muted here.
Well, I'm gonna continue on. And throughout this presentation, we will explore how self-care practices can serve as the foundation for developing and nurturing a positive mindset. 5 components of a positive mindset: optimism, believing in possibilities of positive outcomes, even in challenging situations, and maintaining a hopeful attitude; gratitude, recognizing and approaching the good things in life, which promotes the feeling of contentment and happiness; resilience, bouncing back from setbacks, adapting to change, and persevering in the face of adversity; self-compassionate, treating oneself with kindness, understanding, and acceptance, especially during difficult times; and a growth mindset, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth and learning from failures and believing in the potential for improvement. Self-care as a foundation. Self-care refers to activities and practices that prioritize one's physical, emotions, and mental health and well-being. Examples of self-care include regular exercise, adequate sleep, healthy eating, relaxation techniques, engaging in hobbies, and spending time with loved ones. Self-care serves as a foundation for cultivating a positive mindset by nurturing overall well-being, reducing stress, and fostering a sense of self-worth and confidence. Strategies for cultivating positivity. Gratitude practices involves in keeping a gratitude journal, expressing appreciation to others, or simply taking a moment each day to reflect on blessings. Challenging our negative thoughts brings questioning pessimistic beliefs and reframing them into a more positive light. Self affirmations are positive statements that reinforce one's strengths, ability, and worthiness. Surrounding oneself with positive involves seeking out supportive relationships, engaging in uplifting activities, and minimizing exposures to negativity. Setting achievable goals will provide direction and motivation, helping to maintain focus and a sense of accomplishment. Integrating self-care into a daily routine. Prioritizing self-care involves making time for activities that promote physical, emotional, and mental well-being on a regular basis. Establishing boundaries means recognizing and respecting personal limits, saying no to activities or commitments that drain energy, and prioritizing rest and relaxation when needed. Practicing mindfulness involves being present in the moment, cultivating awareness of thoughts and emotions without judgment, and engaging in mindfulness meditations or other mindfulness practices. Finding joy in small moments that bring simple pleasures, such as enjoying a favorite hobby or spending time in nature or connecting with loved ones. Consistency in practices. Cultivating a positive mindset requires consistent effort and practice over time. It is normal to experience setbacks or challenges along the way, but persistence and determination, a positive mindset can be strengthened and maintained. By incorporating self-care practices into our daily routines and actively working to shift our negative thoughts patterns, we will start to cultivate a positive mindset on life, giving us room to grow and prosper. Conclusion. Cultivating a positive mindset through self-care practices is essential for promoting well-being and overall happiness. By embracing optimism, gratitude, resilience, self-compassion, and growth, and a growth mindset, individuals can develop a more positive outlook on life and navigate challenges with greater ease and purpose. Remember to prioritize self-care, practicing gratitude, challenging negative thoughts, and surrounding yourself with positivity, and set achievable goals to nurture a positive mindset and thrive in all aspects of life. And that'll be it.
All right, thank you, Alvin, for kicking things off. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick and get my presentation up and running. Give me just one moment. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, you're good, Margie.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tyler. So, hi everyone. My name is Margie Hunter, and I currently serve with the Michigan State University College Advising Corps, also known as MSUCAC. So, in case you haven't heard of us, just a little bit about what we do. Advisors are placed in high schools across the state of Michigan, and we work with high school seniors to help them figure out what it is they want to do after graduation. So we help with all parts of the college going process, from submitting college applications, scholarship applications, working on FAFSA and financial aid, all that fun stuff. So I'm currently serving in my second year at Fremont High School. And today I just wanted to take a few moments to talk to you all about what you may know as work-life balance, but since we're all with AmeriCorps, it's service-life balance. So I do want to start by saying I am no means an expert on this topic. It's something that I still work towards every single day, but I just wanted to share some of the tips and tricks that have been helpful for me. So a little bit about what my experience has been serving with AmeriCorps. So during my first year of service, I found it really difficult to establish boundaries, especially for those of you who work in positions where you work really closely with people. You may find that the clients you're working with or the students you're serving really trust you and have that positive rapport with you, which is great, but they may tell you some really heavy things that are easy to take home with you and to constantly think about. So whether I intentionally or not was bringing home physical work with me, I found that I was taking home a lot of, my students' struggles, and I was still thinking about that, ruminating on it, and just kind of spiraling. So my time at home wasn't really for me. I was still thinking about, my service site. And so because of that, I really burned out quite quickly, and found it, really difficult to find time for myself. So going into my second year of service, I knew that some changes needed to happen. Again, by no means am I an expert in this at all. But at the beginning of this year, I really decided to establish my boundaries up front, and to be more clear with those and really stick to them and implement a few strategies to really start prioritizing my health, which I'm going to start sharing with you. So a lot of my boundaries are a lot around digital boundaries. So if you have like a work email that is on your phone, I highly recommend putting on like your do not disturb setting when you're leaving your service site. I know for me, every time my phone flashes with a notification or a ping, I have the urge to go check it. And even if I'm not actually reading my email, but just reading the header, I know that my mind is being transported back into that service mindset, and that I'm not actually really enjoying my time at home. So you can change this in your email settings. You can go there and input the hours that you want to receive notifications. Or if you, let's say you have an iPhone, you can use do not disturb, and you can personalize it so you're still getting like texts from like family and friends, but just not getting those email notifications. So especially in the evening, I really recommend doing this just so you're really able to focus on yourself and have a restful, relaxing evening and not necessarily be thinking about service. Also, if you are ever like taking a day off, or let's say like we just had spring break here and you're not going to be at your service site, I really recommend setting up an automatic email reply. That way people know, right from the get-go, hey, I'm out of the office. I won't be able to get back to you until, let's say, like April 12th, for example. That way you don't feel the obligation to be working when it's your time off. And it lets people know upfront that, hey, it's going to take a couple of days for me to get back to you. So those are just a few things that I would recommend doing if you aren't already. And then this is something that maybe some of you will relate with, but I manage having a chronic illness. And so that is something for me where stress can really cause me to have a lot of flare-ups. And I think it's important for us to manage our stress, whether we have a chronic illness or not, because stress can lead to, burnout. It can lead to like tension headaches. It can lead to getting sick. So even if you're not managing an illness, this is still something that's really important to take care of for your own health. So for me, I really need to take the time to slow down when I first get back from my service site, so then I'm able to slow down my mind and my body to actually be able to enjoy my personal time. So for me, I've discovered like just this is what works best for me. I react well with heat, so I like taking baths with Epsom salts. That just kind of helps soothe any aches or pains. If you don't have access to a bathtub, maybe you could take a shower with hot water when you get home. I also really like having a cup or a pot of tea, or in the winter months, hot chocolate is always very soothing for me. As well as, if I decide to lay down, using a heated pad or a weighted blanket is really helpful. I'm one of those people, and especially working in a school setting where things are go, go, go all of the time, that's exactly how I feel when I return home. And so I really have to work at slowing down my thoughts and slowing down my body. And I found that, especially with the weighted blanket, that can really help me get into a calmer state. And then for those days when I just can't get out of that thought process, if I'm, just still thinking about work, thinking about all these things that I need to do, I found it really helpful to journal a little bit. And my way of journaling is just writing down everything that's on my mind. So whether that's a bulletin board I need to do at work, an email I need to send, a reminder to water my plants, or that I need to go to the store and get more cat food, I just write that all down. And then by getting that out of my head and down onto either paper, or I find it helpful to use the Notes app in your phone, that clears up that space in your mind. So then you can actually start focusing on the things you want to enjoy doing rather than, still circling through all of those things that you need to do. And the helpful thing by writing it down, you can always come back and revisit that list later, so you don't have to worry about forgetting those things. And then finally, I love taking naps. I am always tired when I get home from my service site, and I find that naps can be just a really great way to quickly hit that reset button and to start feeling refreshed. I have read that 30 minutes is the ideal length for a nap because you're not entering those deep REM cycles. So I know oftentimes you may think taking a longer nap is going to result in you feeling more energized, but sometimes you're disrupting your deep sleep cycles. And actually taking a longer nap and waking up in the middle of one of those cycles can make you feel more groggy, and actually have the opposite effect of what you're going for. So I do recommend setting an alarm for 30 minutes. I found that that works pretty well for me. And then in terms of sleep, I do recommend trying to keep your phone away from your bed. I know that can be hard for some of us to do. If you're like me and you use your phone as an alarm clock, at least consider putting it in do not disturb mode so that you're not getting those notifications of text messages or emails throughout the night. Because I know for me, that light can wake me up because I'm really sensitive to that sort of thing. So just to make sure that you're really prioritizing your sleep, I would personalize those settings so that you're not getting waken up or disturbed during the night. So that is all I have. I am going to stop sharing my screen. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or we'll have a time for some Q&A later as well. So I'm going to pass it off to, I believe, Austin.
Hey, let me unmute myself really quick, and I am going to share my screen as well. Just 1 second. Can you guys see my screen okay? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we see it.
Oh, hang on. That's not what I wanted to show you. Okay, hang on. Sometimes I've got a lot to cut through. Hang on. Hang on. I got a lot of stuff I got to close off first before we can start our thing. All right, can you still see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, music. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Awesome. So a little bit about me first before we kind of jump into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to be talking about, if you will. So hey, everybody. My name is Austin Shepard. Don't think I introduced myself earlier when I got this meeting started. My apologies for that. I'm currently serving in my 2nd year with the Special Olympics Michigan AmeriCorps program. Our program primarily works with Special Olympics athletes. We serve athletes in our SoMeFit program and our Young Athletes program and our developmental sports program, teaching them different sports skills, different athletic skills. And also we're really big on teaching our athletes about nutrition and, about good workout technique and all of that good stuff. So That's our primary thing. All right, so we're gonna have to go quick because we've only got 10 minutes left with this particular meeting, and then we're gonna have to jump on a new one. But that's kind of the basic backstory of the Special Olympics Michigan AmeriCorps program. I currently serve at the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan, and I kind of serve in a community impact coordinator role. So if anybody's interested in our program, feel free to get in touch with me, and we can talk some more about it. So our topic for right now, we're going to be talking about music. And specifically, we're going to be talking about music as a self-care tool. Okay. And so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. I've done some research on this topic. And so, you're going to get exposed to a little bit of science today. But that's okay because it's, not terribly complicated. So it's not like you're going to go to a psychology class in the next 8 or so minutes. But if you look at my screen here, these are just some benefits to music that have kind of been demonstrated in the research and in the scientific literature. And you can see that it's a pretty broad range. So everything from stress reduction, anxiety reduction, lower depression risk, and also increased mood, food craving control, and also sleep. So, obviously we've already kind of talked about some of these. But listening to music can help us do all of these things, okay? But there are a few caveats that we'll talk a little bit about. Why these benefits? There's a couple different reasons. This is a little bit nerdy, what I'm about to tell you, but one of the things that's been found in the literature is that music can actually have a pretty significant impact on our autonomic nervous system, which controls our breathing, which controls our heart rate, and other things like that we don't think about consciously. And listening to music, they've done studies on this that show that when we listen to music, we can recover a little bit quicker from a stress response. So when we get stressed and we start to feel our breathing rate start to go up, we feel our heart rate go up, music can help kind of bring that down a little bit. And with that, music can also help us relax, which is probably one of the main reasons that music can help us with sleep, because if we're not relaxed, we're not going to sleep as well. And it can also help us with food craving. So if we're relaxed, that means that we're less inclined to eat as much food. If you've ever heard of stress eating, that's a very real thing. So listening to music, including just at home, so not just in like a music therapy type setting or something like that, but also at home or just in your normal environment. There's some other studies that are coming out that are showing that music can actually help increase the amount of immunoglobulin, which is an important immune chemical that occurs in our body. That's very important for helping us fight viruses and bacteria and stuff like that, and can also help us control our cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and when that's too high, that can cause all kinds of health problems. Margie kind of touched a little bit on sort of the dangers of stress. But cortisol is a major player in that. And so just talking real quick about some cautions though. So we kind of talked about sort of the nerdy science and, kind of thinking about, music, just in terms of what the studies say about it. But something that you might notice is that if you listen to a lot of music, you might just want to listen to it over and over and over again. And that's a dopamine response. And, that can be connected to, addiction. So, be careful and make sure that you're not just spending all day long listening to your favorite song over and over again. And therefore you aren't necessarily being as productive. Something that I've also found just in my own, personal experience is that music that's really stimulating sometimes has the opposite effect. So music generally helps us relax, but if you're listening to songs that are very intense, or even very sad songs that elicit some very tough emotions, that can actually take you in the opposite direction. So be careful. Also, distraction, that can be a serious problem. Soft music can help us with, just kind of, with kind of doing tasks and, and so forth. And if we're trying to study or work on a specific project, some music can help with that. But oftentimes, it's easy to get distracted with lyrics, and, especially if you're trying to, read something or do something that's very, that's very mind intensive, where you really have to think through certain aspects of what you're reading or doing. And this is just a general note for all of the things that all of us are talking about. Everybody's different, right? So if music's not really your jam, I'll be honest and say that I myself am a musician. I'm a jazz musician, so this is a very important topic for me. But if this isn't quite your jam, no pun intended, or I guess sort of pun intended, no worries. Everybody's different, and it's our responsibility to find what works for us. Here's just a couple of cool resources. When I was doing my research for this presentation, these resources were very helpful for me. So if you want to take a deeper dive, check out a couple of these articles. Or you can even just Google, music's impact on mental health, and you'll find lots of groovy stuff about this topic. So if anybody has any questions, just put them in the chat. All right, so hey, I'll tell you what, we're going to need to switch Zoom links in a second. We're going to turn things over to Tyler, I believe, but we might need to do some shifting around to help us because our Zoom meeting is about to end. So I don't know how we want to manage that.
Well, I'm going to end the meeting and start the other meeting. I think what happened is that people got into the waiting room early, and so it started the time on the Zoom meeting a little bit fast, so that's why it's expiring soon. So hopefully we won't have that problem again, but I'm about to end this meeting, stop the recording, and then I'm going to go to the other one and start admitting folks. So
okay,
that's how we'll
where's
make
the
it
other
work.
one located? Is it in
It's
the
in the
chat
chat.
somewhere?
That I
Okay.
just put in the chat, so everybody should have access to it in the chat and click on it.
Okay, let me stop sharing.